Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. On Saturday, AFC Wimbledon do face Salford City away from home in Sky Bet League 2. We're finally playing a League 2 game after we've had a couple postponements. Accrington at home got called off, and then Crewe, which would have been on Tuesday night, but the Newcastle game has been played then. So yeah, we are we're 3 games behind because we had Accrington called off, Crewe called off, and then Tranmere called off about a month ago in the season in September, just due to international duty. So we have some catching up to do, but this is a normal scheduled league game from what it was when the fixtures came out in June or July, I believe it was. So yeah, Salford City, this is the match preview video. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. But furthermore, let's get into this match preview video of Salford versus Wimbledon. So, as I said in the intro, it's Salford City versus AFC Wimbledon on Saturday, 3 p.m, kickoff away from home. A game which I do truly believe Wimbledon should be getting 3 points at. They sit 20th in the league. They've scored barely any goals, but haven't conceded many too. So we're going to go through everything today. So let's start with Salford City. As I said, they sit 20th in League 2. They've got Carl Robinson as manager. We'll get onto that talking point in a minute. But it should definitely be a game which Wimbledon should be winning. We look really good at the moment. The last 5 games for Salford City, they've only won 2 games so far this season, and 2 of those wins have come in the last 5 games in the league. So 5 games ago, they had their first win of the season against Milton Keynes. I remember watching that game live on Sky Sports, and they didn't really look that good. The only thing that they kind of came from was the counter attack, putting it over the top to Cole Stockton, Adelaken. So I don't really think they have much tactics going forward, but they definitely have got the players there to hurt us, and we'll get onto that in a minute. And then they went on the week after beating Cheltenham Town 2-1, which Cheltenham also is one of those teams which are going to be fighting for it at the bottom of the table this season, and they still do not look that good. When Wimbledon did play them away from home, beat them 1-0, and they didn't really threat us for the whole game, probably had 1 or 2 shots on target, and that was about it. But Salford did beat Cheltenham 2-1 at home. And then, since then, they've had a pretty poor spell. They lost 2-0 to Walsall at home after that win against Cheltenham. Walsall are a pretty good side, even though they did lose 6-2, I believe it was, to Fleetwood Town on Tuesday night. So that's a crazy result. They then had a 0-0 draw away at Tranmere Rovers, and then their last game in League 2 was a 3-1 defeat away from Newport. So when you look at their recent form, we should be winning. They don't really score a lot of goals. They've only scored 2 goals, like the most in a game so far, but they don't concede many, which is a really interesting fact. This season they've only scored 4 goals in the league so far, and they've only conceded 9 goals, so they might be a tough team to break down. Would Johnny Jackson change a lineup? Would he? Because we've been going with Bugle and Joe Pigott up top as well. Should we change that? Should we bring on Matty Stevens, Josh Kelly to bring on some pace? But we'll get on to Wimbledon in a minute, because I think there will be quite a few changed lineups from our 1-0 defeat away at Newcastle on Tuesday night. The top players that FOTMob has picked out for Salford City: Stephen Negru, centre-back from Ireland, looks pretty good. Played every single game so far for Salford City in all competitions. Jamie Jones, the goalkeeper, quite experienced. He's been at Wigan Athletic and was quite good there. So they definitely have got players which are very experienced. They probably don't have those younger players with that are coming through in the leagues. They don't have those players that are in their prime. They're kind of bringing back experienced players who has had really good seasons in League 1 and League 2 before, and hoping they can do the same thing. But so far it hasn't really started that way for them. Tyrese Forner, a CDM, central defensive midfielder as well, looks pretty good for Salford City. A tough one to break down. He sits right in front of the defence. So we will need to find ways to get through him. Their goal scorers, they haven't really scored. As I said, they've only scored 4 goals. So there's only been 3 goal scorers for Salford City so far. Hakeem Adelaken has got 2 of those goals, former Doncaster Rovers man. I believe he scored against us last season away from home. And Again, it's a player which is probably past his best in the league, but he has had pretty good seasons before. I believe he scored 11, 12 goals for Doncaster last season. So if he can hit that type of form for Salford City, then that'll be good for him. They've also got Cole Stockton, only scored 1 goal this season so far, and every Wimbledon fan, a lot of fans in the EFL, know about Cole Stockton. The former Morecambe man, scored so many goals for them. And now he's at Salford City. Again, it's another one of those players which has been really experienced in the league. They've scored so many goals. I believe he got around 20, 25 goals in one season before in one of the past couple of seasons. So we will need to look out for him if he does start, because we all know about Cole Stockton. He's clinical in front of goal. He's done everything. He's scored from outside the box. He can score from a header. You don't really know what to expect from Cole Stockton. Like, you sometimes watch him and he hasn't really played the best, but then you sometimes watch him and he can easily go and score a hat-trick. I remember when we played Morecambe away from home a couple of seasons back, when we had a 90th minute winner by Ubasal, Cole Stockton scored from the halfway line. So it's kind of, he's maybe just, I think he's past his best, but as I said, you don't really know what to expect from Cole Stockton. He's a bit inconsistent at times. You can have a really good Cole Stockton against MK. It seemed like he really liked to get in behind. They were always looking for the through ball to Cole Stockton. But the defence that we have at the moment, Joe Lewis, Ryan Johnson, Riley Harbottle, that back three just seems so calm and collected, really strong and physical, trying so hard every single game and making us really just a tough team to break down. So I think I'm very positive going into the weekend. I think most Wimbledon fans are. But Salford City have got definitely the players to score goals. As we said, Hakeem Adelakan, Cole Stockton. They've got some young wingers as well, which are coming through on loan with Salford, and they do seem pretty dangerous as well. So if we're not on it, if we have tired legs and we're not trying, they definitely can hurt us. As we said, Cole Stockton is a really good goal scorer in the league, experience, scored so many goals before, and if he gets his form back like he did a couple of seasons back, even last season, if he gets that form back, then he'll be absolutely incredible for Salford. They've only scored 4 goals, conceded 9, so they will be tough to break down. I believe they play the pretty much exact same formation as us that I've seen on FOTMob from the last couple of games, 3-5-2, and maybe drop in a midfielder back to kind of help out the defence if needed. That's Tyrese Forner doing that CDM role, just sitting in front of the defence, trying to pick up all the pieces. So it may be a tough team to break down. I don't see maybe the game being high scoring, maybe a 2-0, 3-1, something like that. I don't see us going and smashing Salford, but who knows? There's been more mental things that we've seen in football. Their manager, Carl Robinson, is another interesting talking point. We all know about Carl Robinson, former MK manager. We won't get to him too much, but hopefully, we played against his team last season. Salford City beat them 1-0. At Plough Lane and draw 0-0 away from home. So I'm sure there'll be some songs about Carl Robinson on Saturday, but won't talk too much about him as I don't really want to bring up MK. So that's Salford City, everything you need to know about them. They have got the players to score goals if they are on it. They've got young wingers which are coming through on loan, but they do sit 20th in League Two, only scored 4 goals, 9 goals conceded, so you might not maybe see a high scoring game. But let's talk about Wimbledon, which has been pretty positive starts. So let's go on and in the second part of the video and talk about the away side, AFC Wimbledon. So let's talk about the AFC Wimbledon side, which are playing Salford City away from home on Saturday. At the moment, we do sit 11th in League Two, but we obviously are 3 games behind. With Tranmere being called off in September, that didn't help as well, but our last 2 games at home against Accrington and Crewe have been called off due to whatever has happened to the pitch, and hopefully that is going to get sorted out soon and we can get back at Plough Lane. I'm sure it won't be too long. Hopefully in this month. That will be amazing to see. So we sit 11th in League Two, played 6 games, only lost 1 game, but got 3 games in hand. So maybe when you look at the league table, it shouldn't be where we are. Last Saturday, we still sit 5th when all the games finished on Saturday. So we still probably should be around the playoffs if we would have got wins against Crewe, Tranmere and Accrington. So Newcastle, as I'm filming this, Newcastle was yesterday. An interesting game. We only lost 1-0 to a penalty, which the ref didn't even give. It was a sense of just 2 players going down in a space of 10 seconds and one of them apparently being a penalty. Looked like a diving against a League Two club is a bit embarrassing, but that's fine. And the ref didn't even give it. He thought both of them were dives, but as the second one, which apparently the lino gave. So technically, the first one, if he dived, should have been our free kick and a yellow card to the player that dived. So it's unfortunate, but there were times in the game where we did go on the counter attack a little bit and tried to get forwards, but then the second half, Newcastle being a Premier League side, being a professional side, having Eddie Howe as a manager, and having a various amount of really good coaches back in Eddie Howe. The tactics were pretty right for Newcastle. They didn't really seem like they wanted to attack. They had a couple of chances in the second half, nothing really major. We defended well for the whole game. But it's positive signs. We only lost 1-0. When you lose 1-0 to a Premier League side away from home, especially at St James's Park, it's an intimidating place to go, one of the best places to play football as a footballer. So I'm sure all the Wimbledon players are holding their head high. We've looked really good in the league so far, beat MK 3-0 a couple of weeks ago. We've only lost one game to Bromley, and that was in August, didn't lose in the whole of September, and now it's October where games are going to be coming thick and fast. Hopefully they'll be on, to be fair. But yeah, so we had a pretty different lineup. Obviously, Ryan Johnson was out against Newcastle, so Billa had to come in. Maycock came in and started, which was good to see. Ball also came in, and Bugle and Piggott were the two up top. Everyone played really well. I love the squad depth and everything that we have this season. But I think you might see a little bit changed lineup. I'll be very, very surprised if Tilly starts in this game. I'm not really too sure what Johnny Jackson is kind of seeing in James Tilly, maybe from set pieces, because Jake Reeves is back. Jake Reeves is a good talking point as well, because when Johnny Jackson was doing his match preview interview for the Accrington game, he said that Jake Reeves will be a late call, and obviously that game didn't happen. So it's been a week from then. Didn't play against Newcastle. If I was Johnny Jackson, I wouldn't have anyway, because what's the point of throwing him into a game which you're most likely going to lose, and then just get injured when the Salford game is a lot more important than Newcastle. We want to get promoted. We need 3 points. We need to play catch up as well with everyone in the league. So I think if Jake Reeves was fine yesterday, I think it's probably the smartest decision just to leave him out for this game, leave him out for the Newcastle game, and then reintroduce him back into the squad for Salford City, even if that's on the bench or if it's starting, if he's ready, then how good would that be? But I would maybe like to see Furlong come back into his left wing back type of role. I don't think Tilly really suits that role. He wants to be playing on the other side as well. I expect Newville to come back in for Billa or Maycock. It was on that right hand side, so that's another good attacking option which we have. It just shows how much squad depth we have in the squad this season. Have a feeling I don't think Joe Piggott and Omar Bugle will start up top on Saturday. They started like that on Newcastle, and I think that was the correct call, because you want to be physical against a Premier League side. But in this type of game, when the teams are hard to break down, you can get runners in behind, you can get Josh Kelly in behind, you can get Matty Stevens in behind, you can get Bugle sitting in that type of 10 role, battling it out physically, and then hopefully getting a good ball into either Stevens or Kelly. I think that might be the right call to do, start one of those two. You'd probably prefer Bugle and Stevens to start, as Stevens has gone one-on-one a couple of times this season already, or even Josh Kelly. Doesn't really matter. All four of our strikers are really capable of scoring. I would like to maybe see us score a couple more goals, go and smash teams 3-0, 4-0. We did do against MK, but none of the strikers did score in that game. It was 2 from Maycock and 1 from Hippolyte. So I would love to see maybe one of the 4 strikers go and score a brace, go score a hat-trick, just to boost all their confidence and kind of implement their name on the starting 11 straight away, because we have many options and they'll just keep rotating, which isn't a bad thing. They're all getting pretty much equal game time except from Josh Kelly, which I do feel bad for him. But for Salford on Saturday will be a changed lineup, I do believe, by Johnny Jackson. Probably 5 or 6 changes from the Newcastle squad. We'll see Ryan Johnson come in, hopefully Furlong, Newville, maybe Stevens. Alistair Smith should also come back into midfield, probably replacing Ball or Maycock. So we will see what happens then, and let's hope everyone's fit. Maybe Jake Reeves will come back in as well. What do I think will happen in the game? Wimbledon really should be winning this game. Salford, as I said earlier on, do have the players to go and hurt us. They have Cole Stockton, Hakeem Adelakan, and they got a pretty strong defence of Jamie Jones and Negru on their centre-backs. So it will be tough to break down, but we do have the players to do it. We look so just calm and collected. We look like we're playing really good football, and we've really impressed the whole of League Two this season. So hopefully we can go into this game with high confidence after losing to Newcastle. A little bit of a changed squad, and we'll have loads of options on the bench as well if we need them. But Wimbledon really, really should win. I think I can see us maybe just having a comfortable 2-0 win away from home. That would be really good. We never really have good form away to sides that are really up north, so hopefully that can change against Salford. We have a 0-0 draw there last season and we should have won the game. Ali missed about 2 or 3 one-on-ones, but it is what it is. New season, and it's a game which we really should be winning. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Salford City versus AFC Wimbledon, what you think will happen, what the score will be, who will score the goals, and will it be another comfortable win like we had in our last game in League 2? So let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching this match preview of Wimbledon versus Salford City, and there will be a match day vlog on Saturday. So see you in Salford. Come on, you Dons.